In India, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva was first documented after the 2nd century CE in chapter 25 of the Lotus Sutra, the Universal Gate. In China, the worship of Guan Yin Pusa, Bodhisattva, began as early as the 1st century BCE, upon the introduction of Buddhism in China. By mid-7th century, belief in Guan Yin had reached Korea and Japan, while it also reached Tibet via Nepal. Maybe the story of how Guan Yin reached China is not at all unfamiliar to us, but perhaps most people are unaware that besides being Buddha's birthplace, Nepal is where Guan Yin worship prevails. But how did Guan Yin come to Kathmandu? And from where are Nepal's 108 Lokesvaras?
早期的时候啊，尼泊尔曾经连续12年没有下雨的记录，那人民都没有米可以吃，所以观世音菩萨就来到加德满都救度众生。于是天降甘霖，解除了当地的旱灾与饥荒。所以观世音菩萨有另外一个名字叫做Karunamaya。Karuna 就是慈悲，那 Maya 就是慈悲的那个来源。
Former Deputy Director of Nepal's National Bureau of Archeology, Professor Shresth, was guiding our camera crew and said that the Lichavi dynasty, which was Nepal's first documented dynasty, from approximately the 5th to the 9th centuries, first recorded Guan Yin's presence in Kathmandu. Change of dynasties and cultural blending and mixture resulted in transforming Buddhist bodhisattvas into Hindu deities. Guan Yin was no exception. Let's look at the case in point, namely our filming the temple of 108 Lokesvaras. Let's take a look at the name first. Lokesvara morphed here, transforming into Makindranath, an emanation of Shiva in Hinduism.
18世纪的时候，马拉王朝有一个国王，他为了报复佛教，那他就命令所有的僧侣都要改成印度教，又把观世音菩萨的 Lokesvara 改成印度神 Mahendra 的名字。不止加德满都这边改，其他地方也跟着改了。就这样子慢慢的，观世音菩萨的名字就变成印度教 Mahendra 的名字了。
It can be said that this temple is both Buddhist and Hindu in style because it epitomizes the blending of Buddhism and Hinduism. And on the walls of the corridors are the 108 Lokesvaras in bas-relief in bronze, standing or seated in various positions. How indeed did the 108 Lokesvaras come about? To remove the veil of mystery covering the 108 Lokesvaras, our camera crew arrived at the Tokuriji Temple in Nagoya, Japan, to pay a visit to someone once in Kathmandu whose focus of studies was the 108 Lokesvaras, Master Shucho Takaoka.
その本が実は私のノートなんです実はね。それはその天賀先生がずっとしばらくの間講義をくださったのを私がずっとノートしてそれを出版したものなんです。
This album, on Intro to the 108 Lokesvaras and the accompanying textbook, were compiled by Master Takaoka, and some 108 Lokesvara legends were collected, including records from the Tantric Buddhism on rituals and practices of Guan Yin conduct. Thus, it has become an important reference. In 1979, this set of books with translation by Master Takaoka came off the press and onto the Japanese market.
せっかくだから文化を残したい、あるいは文化を守りたいという気持ちが非常に強くあったので、新しい印刷方法ではなくて、もっと伝統的な技術やものを使って出版したいということで、その木版が起こしたり、それから下にその紙も全部手すぎ紙、ヒマラヤの山ですいた紙を使ったりとかですね、あるいは表紙の布も全部できるだけ手織り布で表紙を作ったりとか、そういうことをしたんですね。
Graduating from university in 1972 and with a fever for research on Guan Yin, Master Takaoka had the rare good fortune to conduct research long-term, and he stayed for 10 years in Kathmandu. His mentor, a celebrated local artist and painter, happened to be the producer in charge of the imaging of the 108 Lokesvaras. After exhaustive research and verification, in 1966, paintings of the 108 Lokesvaras in color were finally completed to replace the worn and torn prints. Such is the background that highlights the connection between Master Takaoka and the 108 Lokesvaras. This is Asan Street. The market here is the biggest in Kathmandu. Historically, it has been Nepal's departure point for travel to Tibet for business. It is a trading center for key commodities. The 108 Lokesvaras temple is located right here, also known as Sato Machindranath, and locally as Janabahal. It is one of Kathmandu's best decorated temples.
就加那巴哈这个观音庙的历史来讲的话，其实在15世纪以后就盖了，差不多有300多年的历史，是在另外一个地方。从这边走大概20分钟的距离，那个地方有非常古老的理查韦王朝寺院。
Iconography authority on the 108 Lokesvaras, Professor Tachikawa Musashi, published records with stories about the Janabahal. In 1536 and in 1560 respectively, historical references were made, and in 1635 and 1883, major overhauls were done on the temple. Speaking of the temple of 108 Lokesvaras, Padmapani Bodhisattva is the chief deity, an emanation of Avalokitesvara. It was reported that in the 19th century, a father and son team good at Thanga paintings first created Thanga paintings of the 108 Lokesvaras. And some 20 plus years ago, a full set in bas-relief in bronze was commissioned. The entire temple is a gilt-work in gold, and the exquisite bronze sculptures no doubt further enhance its glory. But speaking of the 108 Lokesvaras, how did they come about? Why are there 108 of them by different names?
基本的にはそのサダナプンダリカ法華経というものに、観音本があって、そこにはこう様々に変化すると、その信仰する人の信仰に従って観音様は変化して現れるということなので、特に向こうの方ではヒンズー教等の信仰もあったわけですから、ヒンズー教の神々、もちろん仏教の神々もありますし、土地の神様もあったでしょう。そういう神様になって観音様はこうホームはねその神様だけども、こう実体というのか、そのこう教えというのかね、法というのはこう観音様だったと。そういう形でさまざまなこう観音様が出てくる、こうどういうのか理由があったってね。
This is a scholar who spent years in Nepal researching the 108 Lokesvaras, Master Takaoka, and his view on the topic. Now let us hear what a local expert, Dr. Shresth, has to say.
大概第8世纪开始有这个观音的那个信仰嘛。就是说，喀麦杜人民开始拜观音，然后最初可能观音也只有几种吧，但是因为这个涅瓦人的这种疯狂的这个拜神的心态啊，导致他们想象出更多的观音。我认为啊，这个纯粹是涅瓦人的自己的创造，而不是从哪里进来的。而且这些名字，它的那个手势法器啊，这些都是我们这里的这些密宗师他们观想中记录下来的一些事实吧。
And since the 108 Lokesvaras all have names, how did they approach the Dharma teachings for Guan Yin practice?
有些人在拜观音的时候，那就念他的名字。那有些人就绕着观音菩萨走， 有人就过午不食。那拜观音的时候，有一些人会做大法门，也有一些人1个月只喝甘露水，那什么东西都不用吃，可是精神还是非常的好，就是用这种清净心来拜观音菩萨。
最多的观音我们听到的，我们知道名字的有360个，他们就说，因为当时认为是1年是360天嘛，所以每天拜一个新的观音，每天不重复是那种。还有一个就是现在也是比较流行的是每个月拜一个观音，这样的也有。
According to Dr. Shresth, the ways of practicing Guan Yin conduct in Nepal are basically rather similar. The major differences are their names and their visualizations, resulting in various mantras. Thus, accordingly, it can be said that the 108 Lokesvaras is a faith uniquely Nepalese. The Tripitaka mentions the term 108 Lokesvaras, but it is understood that the 108 Lokesvaras belief ought to thank Vajrayana Buddhism of later Hinduism for its origin and development before it spread to Nepal. Therefore, the 108 Lokesvaras did not originate in Kathmandu as a form of worship, but rather that it was accepted and preserved, and in the end developed their own unique styles of worship. Maybe such an interreligious, interracial, and intercultural worship for the 108 Lokesvaras already shows the Guan Yin tradition of all times and places, why it defies space and time, and why it gained traction and popularity everywhere in the best interpretations imaginable. Look at this gigantic 20-meter-tall chariot with a cheering crowd. Pulled manually, it edges forward slowly from April to May every year. The chariot will take a month's time to tour all of Patan to ensure good, productive climate that will allow a bountiful harvest. This is a vitally important festival in Nepal in honor of Rato Machendranath, and because of its scale, many people of Patan believe that this is the true New Year celebration. Inside the huge chariot, Rato Machendranath is set for worship. The term Machendranath now only refers to the Hindu rain god, but suggests an emanation of Shiva. It is a further Buddhist manifestation of Guan Yin. It is said that the Hindu version of the rain god and the Mahayana tradition of showing Guan Yin by sprinkling water with a willow twig correlate in concept and in practice, in that people pray to the deities for sufficient rainfall that brings a good harvest and abundance.
这个是红观音的活动啊，巴登市的所有的种姓的人都会拜。虽然说是红观音是金刚乘佛教的嘛，但是不信佛教的人也会拜这个，所以这个红观音已经超出了这个宗教的界限了，可以这么说。
There are 4 famous Guan Yin temples in Kathmandu, 2 each white and red, located respectively along Kathmandu's old streets, Patan and the city's suburbs. It is said that people pray to the Guan Yins for peace, fortune, health, and fertility respectively, and that the prayers be merited and blessed. That's in contrast to our Guan Yin tradition, in which all prayers should be responded to, all suffering and hardship be liberated, and all wishes be fulfilled, which actually overlapped rather nicely. We asked Archeology Professor Shresth why there are 2 white Guan Yins and 2 red Guan Yins.
为什么有2白2红的观音呢？书上并没有记载。不过，由于2尊红观音是位于加德满都的郊外，那种了许多人们赖以为生的稻米，所以2尊红观音，它的意思就是保佑风调雨顺，然后大丰收。另外2尊白观音，它是位在加德满都的城内，它的意思就是守护人们从出生到往生的平安健康。
In Nepal, people believe that Guan Yin is their mother, because these 2 godly guardians come from Guan Yin's sighting of suffering sentient beings and 2 tears were shed to give form to the 2. Here, therefore, Guan Yin Pusa can be in the hearts of Buddhists. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Guan Yin can also be an emanation of Shiva to Hindu believers. Between emanations of interreligious deities, we notice both diversification and symbiosis that join forces to protect those living in the abundance of the Kathmandu Valley.